Welcome to another episode of Life and Times with Tubb City. As the host, I'm always grateful for the incredible guests we've had on the show who left a lasting impression on my life. So today I want to talk about the company that's been making a difference in countless lives all across America. Penn Waste. PIN stands for Power in Numbers. Penn Waste is revolutionizing the way HOAs manage their waste and recycling services. They've developed the Penn app, which empowers HOAs to negotiate group deals for services like pest control, bulk item removal, trash can cleaning, and most importantly, trash and recycling. Think of Penn Waste as the perfect blend of Groupon and Nextdoor, designed exclusively for HOAs. Their platform allows communities to leverage their size and secure the best deals with vendors. I'm all about bringing value to your life, and that's why we partnered with Penn Waste. Ready to lower your waste bill and make a positive impact? Then just visit www.pennwaste.com and mention that you heard about them from the Life and Times with Tubb City podcast. Their services are available nationwide, so everyone can join the Penn Waste movement. Save money, go green, and make a difference with Penn Waste today. Another episode of Life and Times with Tubb City. Got a special guest in the building, the studio, my guy Ron Butler. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing well, man. How about yourself, man? Thanks for having me.
Good. Got super agent, super duper, the biggest unheard of agent out there. Can we say that?
Hey, you can say it, bro. You can say it,
man. We like to, we call it like floss. Can you light floss for a minute? Can you name some of the guys you represent?
I've been around for a little while, man. So, just to, be in a position and that, these guys like Levante David and, Patrick Robinson and Philip Dorsett and, Travis Benjamin and Brandon Flowers and Corey Legit, all of those guys, just be given the opportunity to represent those guys over the course of my career, man. I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored. So,
and for the record, Levante, the year after they won a Super Bowl, you negotiated his contract. Can you say the numbers on that?
I mean, we can. We can. I mean, honestly, man, he earned it. He did a 2-year, $25 million deal.
Sounds nice.
He earned every dollar.
Yeah.
And, that's coming after his second deal. The second deal was about $50 million.
And you've been with him his whole career?
Been with him the whole ride, man.
That's
the whole ride.
I just want to ride passenger seat, man. So on Lifetimes with Tubb City, every first question is, what can you remember the first time you met me? If you have a memory, if you don't, it's cool. I have mine of meeting you, but what's an interaction that you can think of?
Truth be told, I think, man, honestly, obviously we reconnected, over the course of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a lot of people in our circle that are friends of yours and are friends of mine.
Yeah.
And I feel like we crossed paths a while ago and didn't realize that we crossed paths. So, once we got a chance to interact again, I said, wait a minute, man. I know this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of it for me, man.
Yeah.
But over the last, I want to say 2-3 years, just being able to engage with you and all that good stuff, man. Definitely.
I can tell you mine. Is the first meeting.
Okay.
My first meeting.
Okay.
Because I met Dre, Stan. That was it that I knew. But me coming new to this part of the business, because I've been a coach.
Right.
So now I'm on the business side.
Right.
So when you hear about agents, you think about Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. I think everybody does.
So
I get that all the time.
So I walk in the room, I'm sitting, you're talking, and I'm like, dang, this dude look like me. He got nice shoes. He got. I don't have the same shoes, but we it was like a welcoming thing. Like, wow, like I can do this.
Yeah.
It's like people that look like me,
Yep.
and it's not just Jerry Maguire. You know, it's Ron Butler.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
DeAndre Boyden.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that was a wild moment for me.
Okay.
So, but it definitely, you know, helped me and motivated me, you know, seeing that. So how does a guy from Miami?
From Miami, man, born and raised.
How do you get from Miami to being a super agent?
Man, well, you know.
Where did you were born in Miami, in the city?
I was actually born down south, man. I grew up right there between Paran and Richmond Heights. We kind of call it Fairway Heights. So I got a little bit of both. I was in there.
You was in there.
Yeah, I was in there. So growing up, you know, playing for Sunnyland Optimists and playing for South Dade Optimists and all those things. I mean, yeah, man, right there in the thick of things, man. Yeah. So sports has always been a part of my life ever since I was, you know, a jit.
Yeah.
5 years old, 6 years old. Parents, you know, my mom used to keep us at the park.
Single home or
single mom?
Single
mom. You know, had have a relationship with my dad, but you know, my mom was the foundation in terms of, you know, the man that I've become.
Yeah.
But she, you know, she hustled, man. She hustled. You know, she never complained, and if she did, we never saw it.
So I heard this from, I don't know where I heard this, but somebody said like we were poor, but we didn't know it. Mm-hmm. Were you in that situation? You just was when you grow up in that, because that area is it's a tough area.
Yeah, no, it's a tough area.
So did you know that you were in the thick of it when you were there, or you was just?
I mean, I think for me, man, like we were so involved in different activities, and so we didn't have that. You know, that moment where you felt like, oh, I can't get that pair of shoes, or I want those pair of shoes, or I want this and I want that. Like, I don't think I really came from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a spoiled child growing up. You know, we were really big in terms of community, neighbors, kids outside playing, you know, street ball and all that kind of stuff. And so we all grew up together.
So the neighbor would whoop your butt too.
I mean, we had some times where it was like, man, okay, you know what? Like,
I'm gonna tell your mama.
I'm gonna tell your mama.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell your mama. But I mean, for me, man, like I didn't feel like I grew up poor. I felt like I grew up, you know, just in a space where I was good.
Yeah,
I was good, and I didn't know, you know, financially, I didn't, you know, back then you didn't really know what your parents were making.
Yeah,
you know, salary wise. Now I know, and I realize, well, how did you do it?
Yeah,
you know,
I think about my house where I grew up in Bossier City, Swan Lake, and it's like I thought it was big, but.
Same here.
Nah.
Same here. Nah. I'm telling you, we were so, like, the community was so together. Like, your neighbors, all your friends. It's kind of very protected.
Yeah.
So if we didn't have it at our house, our next door neighbor probably had it. Like, if I wanted to get, I don't know if you knew those little Debbie snacks, like the Star Crunch. But my mom ain't buy all of that. Yeah. You know, we were going to Wags. It was a place called Wags on Thursday night. They had kids eat free spaghetti. Okay. I remember that from back in the day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But those were the type of things where if we didn't have it at our house, I can go across the street to my neighbor. I can go next door to my neighbor. And we all just felt like, we grew up in a good situation.
So you played all sports or just football? Or,
I mean, I focused on, you know, growing up, you know, I think I started playing T-ball. That was my first sport. Yeah. But I said to myself, man, do I really want to get hit with this damn ball? I said, I wouldn't want to get hit with this shit. So I was like, man, you know, I don't know if this one's for me. So, you know, getting into, you know, football and getting into playing basketball, you know, for us growing up, basketball wasn't really the thing down south. It was more about football. If you were from this area, you played for this team. Yeah, if you lived over here in this area, Richmond Heights, you were playing for Richmond Giants. Yeah. If you lived over in Paran, there's a chance that you're going to play for South Dade, or you're going to play over here at, you know, South Kendall or whatever. But I think, you know, just growing up, I was introduced to a majority of the sports.
So in your time, let's say that Optimist era, was it as serious as I've heard?
Man, listen.
The betting,
let me tell you. Listen, there was a team called Gunning for Respect.
That's the name of the team?
The name of the team was the South Dade Rams, the South Dade Optimists.
Okay.
But they had everybody on that team. And that was the year that they won like the state championship and all of the Optimist championship, national championship. And I just remember like so clearly because the way they traveled, they had, the nice sweatsuits and they had the duffel bags, and it was like, yo, everybody wanted to be a part of that. So that was kind of what motivated me to change parks, because I went from Sunnyland to South Dade.
That's two different things for people that don't know.
Listen.
Okay.
So you're talking about guys like Markeith Cooper. You're talking about, what's my man's name? Played quarterback for Southridge, state championship. Like most of those guys that were coming from that park were going to Southridge or they were going to Killian.
Southridge was the deal. They had the Edwards brothers, right?
They had the Edwards brothers.
Yeah.
So
which wasn't fair.
Well, for us, man, like that was our Friday nights, our Saturday mornings. Like you were so excited because you knew it was game day. You knew it was time. You got to be there for that weigh-in. It was serious, man. I remember just growing up, they having shootouts on the park because it was so serious in terms of teams.
So it was that serious?
Yeah, it was serious, bro. Certain teams couldn't play at night because they had fights and all the other stuff, and they tried to get control of it.
And we're talking the age of what to what?
Man, this had to be like...
So we're not even in high school yet?
Nah, man. We're elementary, we're middle school. So it had to be like maybe like 1990, 91, 92, around there. So, but nah, it was real, bro. It was real. Like everybody in that neighborhood, like you took sports serious, especially if you came from down south.
So, single mother, was your mother, was she at the games?
Oh, yeah.
She was there with you?
Very active. She was a teen mom. Sometimes used to help cook and all that other stuff. But, she was very involved. It wasn't one of those situations where, she'd take you to the park, just drop you off. Okay, I'll be here to pick you up later. Yeah. She was involved, man. And then my sister, she was also a cheerleader. My god sister and god brother played. And then most of the kids in my community that I grew up with, like, we all played sports.
So, I guess it's a personal question. Okay. Ira.
Uh-huh.
Did you know then, or how did that y'all were brothers?
Well, here's what happened. Here's really the story behind why we call each other brothers. So we're not.
And before you start, I just want to say, Ira, you're the funniest, quiet dude. And you're like
hey man,
you're such a.
Don't give him that.
No, hold on.
Don't give him that, bro. This
Ira,
man is not funny.
Yo, you're hilarious, but you're undercover disrespectful with your funny.
I'll take that.
I'll
ride with you on that.
Because he's smart.
He's a smart dude. And one thing about him, you can't tell Ira he's not the smartest guy in the room.
It's usually him or Ashton.
There you go.
But Ira, like, you're a funny guy. All right, but go ahead.
So the story
Who's
behind,
also an agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ira's my brother. He's also an agent. Him and I, we actually grew up together. Our parents, I want to say I was at the age of maybe 9 or 10. Our parents got married.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're not biological brothers.
Okay.
But we grew up together. He actually is from Texas, and he ended up moving down here, I want to say his freshman year of high school.
I would have never thought I was from Texas.
He's from Texas. And I'm always messed with him because he's from like an area called like Bastrop, Texas.
I've heard of that.
Heard of the Bastrop. So that's kind of where he grew up. But he made the transition. Nah. Okay. But I mean, here's the thing. You can say he's from here because he spent a lot of time here.
Yeah,
he went to high school here.
Yeah.
He went to college here. He did his thing. He ended up setting up shop down here in Florida. So at the end of the day, he gets a pass. He gets a pass. We'll give him a pass. And he played ball, man. He played ball at Killian. Had a lot of relationships and ended up getting a scholarship playing at FIU.
Really?
And he did really well for himself.
Was he with Derek Gibson?
He was, I'm going to say Gip was Gip a year ahead of us or two? I want to say Gip was in the class of 96. So Gip was probably a senior when he was a freshman.
So,
if I'm not mistaken.
We're going to get back to like starting back at Optimist.
Okay.
But I have to say this, Derek Gibson.
I know what you're about to say.
I seen him take a man's soul.
Oh, yeah. He was a soul snatcher now. He was a soul snatcher. Like, you had to know where he was on the field.
Okay, we had a guy named, what was his name? Antoine Antoine something. If anybody remembers, he played at Sunset. He went to Oklahoma.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He was a man.
He was a man. He played running back, played safety.
He played everything.
He was a ball player. Yes, sir.
He was a man.
Yes, sir. I was at that game.
Okay.
What you getting ready to talk about?
And we played at Sunset, which we were sorry, but we had...
You had some players.
Okay.
You had a few players.
So that was the first time in my life, and I'm a pretty competitive person. You know my uncle.
Yep.
Like, you can't be no punk around CJ.
Yep.
I did not want to play. Because Derek Gibson hit this guy so hard. He put fear into me, and I was already not... I was on the other side of the... I don't know if I was on the sideline or on the side of the field, but it just was not something that I wanted to be a part of at that time.
Right.
And he was a grown man at that time.
Truth be told, that team that he played on...
They had a receiver, too.
Bro, they had everything. They were so stacked. They had Benny... What's my man name? Benny... oh, man. I drew a blank. But he had a running back in the backfield. He had Kelsey Lourdes. He had Earl Sims. He had Malcolm Tatum. He had Pat Barrows. All of these guys, freaking James Collier, and all of these guys that I'm naming are Division I players. Yeah. And they were all on the same team. So, playing against that team, you going against University of Killian on Friday night. I remember my coach specifically saying, I played for Gables, and we came in, we thinking, okay, well, you know what, we undefeated right now. We got to come in and play Killian.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, listen, I want you guys to look at University of Killian.
Yeah.
And you just point them out. And the team was so deep. I was just so amazed that they were able to put that thing together the way they did. And you had guys like Derek Gibson leading the charge, man. Yeah, he struck fear into you.
Oh, my God.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Those are the good days, man.
So going back, okay, you playing Optimist, mom's involved. Before you get to high school, or maybe even when you get to high school, you said you went to Gables.
Yep.
Was there ever you know how you drive in a car and then you...
Oh, yeah. Will you swerve off?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely had some swerve off moments, man. Just growing up, and then obviously, being an adult, you hit some roadblocks here and there. And I think that for me, and I don't know if you know this, but in terms of growing up down south, you did one or two things, or you might have done both. Let me correct that. Let me correct myself. You either played sports or you danced.
Oh, you danced?
Okay. You had some guys that, listen, this is me being honest. Okay. So you had guys like growing up, it was Uncle Al, it was Luther Campbell, it was all of those guys. So that was kind of the music that we grew up on. And so for guys that played ball.
I've never heard this.
Oh, bro. Listen, we would thought we were the next thing smoking. but playing sports at the same time. So it was something that was accepted. You get what I'm saying?
This was something you did, and girls.
Oh yeah. Oh I got footage. I got footage.
You know how what they say on Mr. Society? I got the tape. I want the tape.
Listen, I got the footage. I got the tapes. I got the
Ira
pictures.
Too?
Nah, Ira just wasn't. He wasn't coordinated like that. It ain't for everybody.
He throw his shots,
but he knows. He knows. But he wasn't
y'all
coordinated like that.
How does this? So y'all like battling or y'all?
Man, listen, man. You had different crews.
Y'all had
down
crews?
south. Yeah, man. You had different crews. This was kind of like the thing. Like growing up, you had different like dance crews. You had guys that played for certain parks, and they were involved, and everybody used to dance, bro. That was a thing. That was the thing. We go to parties like now. You go out to clubs, you go out to parties. Sometimes people don't dance, but no, when we were growing up, like we danced.
So Saturday night, you and the boys, y'all go to the party.
Oh, we going to the party on the Ave.
On the Ave.
We're on the Ave, and you got Miami-based DJs and all that kind of stuff.
What was the name of y'all crew?
We were called Ready or Not. Yes, sir. Ready or Not. I had my man used to go to Palmetto. Had two go to Gables, one go to Killian. We were so full throttle.
So Ready or Not gets to the party, and Give me a rival.
Goof Troop. What? The Goof Troop. Yes, sir.
So ready or not.
So you gotta be over there sweating, bro. Gotta be bringing back memories, bro. I told you it's gonna be like that. I told you. Yeah.
So Goof Troop sees ready or not. What do we do with
see,
that?
The thing is, like,
is it respectful?
It's respectful. So what we used to do was we used to perform at like the skating rinks, like Hot Wheels. Like I remember I was listening to the other episode and he was talking about DJ Irie.
Yeah.
Well, DJ Irie gave us our first show at Hot Wheels. And let me tell you, so the skating ring, the line to get in, if there was like a battle going on, oh yeah, it was right around the corner, bro. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So y'all neighborhood superstars.
Oh, we were performing. We were performers. Listen, outfits, all of that stuff, bro. Yeah.
So at that time, we talking what year?
Oh man, this had to be.
Are we talking like spray paint, overalls?
Man, we talking about silk pajamas. We talking about gloves. We talking about, it just depends on the setup. It depends on where you performing at. We performed at the high schools.
So y'all were like booking shows.
We were getting paid, bro. We were doing contracts in 96, 95, 96, 97, 98. Yeah. Yeah. Listen.
I don't even know what question to ask. I'm kind of messed up right now. I'm kind of messed up right now, bro.
Listen, bro. Like, yeah, like it was a thing. It was a time where like that was the end thing. And we used to go to the beach. We performed on the beach. We had shows where we would open up for like Trick Daddy and Trina. Yeah. Make a couple dollars, and then we would take our show on the road, go up to Palm Beach, go up to Orlando.
That far?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You never would have known, huh?
You got me, dog. You really
that
got
was
me
the thing,
right
bro. It was, listen, for us, it was sports. If it's not football season, obviously it's basketball season. And if you're in season in terms of football, you probably weren't doing any of those things at that point, at that time. But as soon as the spring rolled around, and it was January, and spring football starts, May? It was 30 days back then?
Yeah.
And so we would do from January all the way through the summer, bro. Like, yeah.
Okay, so what was the biggest event that y'all did? Most memorable moment? It may not have been a big show audience-wise, but what was your most memorable moment of the Ready or Not? Is it the Ready or Not crew?
Yeah.
Or clique?
It was just Ready or Not.
Okay.
It was just, yep. We used to do this step show every year at Palm Beach Lakes High School. We used to do it every year. Mm-hmm. And my uncle, God bless him, he passed away a couple years ago. He was a band director. Mm-hmm. And he used to have this step show every year. And I'm talking about filled to capacity in terms of just the audience. And it was so like, I was always like amazed because I'm watching these older guys from the Palm Beach area and from the Miami area performing this event. This was actually before we started performing. Yeah. And I was always amazed at the reaction that they would get. Yeah. It was like an adrenaline rush. Yeah. So my boy was like, yo, we got to start performing at this. So we took our show. We took our show on the road, and it got to a point where now we were the featured act. So the featured act, obviously, contractually, you can go in, you can negotiate what you want, what you need, your hotels, your travel, this, that, and the other. Oh. And they took care of us because there was an anticipation from the year before where we would perform, and then the reaction that we would get from the crowd. They knew that we were going to be able to draw in a big crowd to where they had to turn people away. Oh yeah, it was real.
What was your stage name?
I didn't have a stage name. I didn't have a stage name. No, it wasn't one of those things where you were known as something else. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But like, you knew when our group was coming on. Like you knew. You got to a point where it's like, people who were performing, who were rappers. Oh yeah, you knew who we were. You were requesting us. It it was cool, man. It was memorable.
That's dope.
But I would have to say that or the Orlando Classic,
which is
where FAMU plays Bethune-Cookman.
Y'all performed at
halftime? We would perform at the night before the actual game.
Yeah.
And it used to be crazy, bro. It was.
I can see you visualize. I can see you visualize it right
bro,
now.
People used to go crazy over that, man. But we talk about it now. Now that we're much older, we talk about it and we kind of relive some of those moments, and it's cool, man.
Shout out Ready or Not, man.
Yeah. So man,
where the goof drew back? We gonna have a battle.
Man, listen, man. You go on Facebook, you see some of them old guys, man. You just bust out laughing because you think about, I guess you can call it the good old days.
Yeah,
you had no responsibility and all that stuff.
So this is junior high to high school?
Well, this is high school. Junior high, man. I went to Southwood Middle School. I got into that school because it was a magnet school. Because I played the drums. So so I can still play.
Really?
I don't really. I do it time to time just as a hobby.
So this is funny because that's what I said last with M. Dot. Like
yeah.
I was so jealous of him, man. Like I always wanted to learn how to play the piano or the drums.
Right.
And then for him to be able to play, you to play, I'm like,
man, it was honestly, man, it was in my blood. All of my
He said
family.
he was self-taught.
Yeah. See, I was. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I was self-taught because I did from time to time have an instructor to take some lessons. But my family, man, like my uncle was a band director. My dad was a drum major at FAMU.
Word.
Yeah, my godfather was a drum major at FAMU. My mom played the clarinet. My uncle played the sax. My granddad played the sax. So I have music in my blood.
So y'all had music in the house?
All the time.
It was time to clean up.
Maybe. I don't remember if I cleaned up back then, but, I'm sure I did because my mom ain't play that. She ain't play that shit. So, yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, bro.
So, high school, Coral Gables.
Coral Gables.
Who was your coach?
Dale Hardy. And what's my man's Rogers' first name? Stu Rogers. So Stu Rogers used to coach at Southridge when they won all those state championships with Darren Davis and Seth Irvin and all of those guys. And Dale Hardy was from the Homestead South Day area.
Okay.
So he was our coach. He was my coach back then. Both had different styles of coaching, but they were cool dudes. So
Gables then is definitely different from Gables now.
Oh yeah. We, obviously there's a big change in terms of millennials and all that stuff and how we do certain things, social media. For us, I enjoy high school, man. It was cool for me.
So, did you still stay down south in Parada?
Yeah.
So how did that?
So what it was my position coach, because I played defensive back in high school. My position coach was from down south, and he ended up seeing me play somewhere. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to Gables. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Why don't you come down here and play for me?" So I was like, "Well, how am I gonna do that?" Because everything was zoned back then, so you couldn't just say, "Hey, I want to go to this school and go to that school." So my godmother actually used to live in the Grove, so I was able to use her address to go to Gables.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Is there anybody that we know of from them high school years that you went to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, John Vilma, who's my man.
Yes.
Who's done really well. Frank Gore, Roscoe Parrish.
I just talked to him.
Roger Pollard. I don't know if you know Roger
RP,
Pollard. That's my man. Gil Green, the video director. He went to Gables. He played ball.
Serious?
Yeah, Gil went to Gables. So that had to be like my freshman year. I want to say like 95. Gil went there.
Gables has a lot of history.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people don't realize the people that came out of there.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
When I was coaching there.
Were you there with Montoya?
Yes.
Okay.
And Coach Neal.
Yep.
Okay, Job.
Okay, Job.
For Bama.
Okay.
His older brothers.
Okay. They were there then?
Yes. Wait, is it Job?
Or Perriman?
It's not Perriman.
It's not Perriman? Because Perriman's brothers went there too. But it could have been, it was probably Job.
Because his brother's named Johnny.
Yep.
John. What's the John?
I don't know the last
Okay,
name.
there's
but
Sponge.
Yep. He's the hoop?
Yes.
Okay. I know he went overseas to hoop or something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there's another one who played for the Raiders.
That's Johnny.
They both named Johnny.
Okay.
Okay. Funny story. The one that played football never played sports at Gables.
I know. I heard the story, bro.
He was doing other things.
I heard the story, bro.
So I'm coaching at Ellsworth.
Okay.
And we're looking at film. And this guy's just catching posts, catching fades. And they're like, yo, what are we going to do? I was like, well, we're going to lose. That's number one because we can't stop him.
Right.
But then I look and I'm like, yo, I know this kid. I know this kid. I know this kid. And then it finally clicked in my head that he went to Gables. He goes up to DePage, just tries out, makes the team.
I heard.
And destroys everybody.
I heard.
Never played in high school.
But I heard how they found him, too. I heard he was playing in a flag football game in the Grove. And somebody saw him playing flag football. That's how he got to that school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew he could play. Like, nobody knew because he never...
But that's how, honestly, there's a lot of talent like that, especially in that Grove area, bro, where, you know, the guys might be into other things.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you never get an opportunity to see them reach their full potential. Like, I remember our running back, my junior year, his name was Johnny Ford.
I've heard
so Johnny Ford has some kids now that play running back who are elite.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was elite as well. He just had a lot of stuff going on. But I guarantee you, on Friday night, he was gonna hit you for 100. You know what I mean? But then the next day, he might be out holding sticking somebody up. But that was my man. So it was like, hey, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, man, it was a lot of untapped, you know, just athleticism that was coming out of that Gables area, and that doesn't surprise me with Johnny, man. Yeah.
Johnny Holton.
Okay.
During your Gables era, who was somebody that like amazed you, or was there a moment? And because everybody talks about Texas football, Florida football, but can you remember anything that stood out in that when you were at Gables that you played against somebody or somebody on the team or something that was just kind of different?
I want to say, because I didn't actually get a chance to play against him my senior year because I ended up tearing my ACL going into my senior season, and I ended up missing, I want to say, like the first 5 games, and then I came back for maybe like 3 or 4, and it just wasn't right. It wasn't 100%. So Miami High, when they had Roscoe Parrish and they had Andre Johnson.
Oh, you.
So that was both. That was my senior year and Andre Johnson's senior year.
Yeah.
And I was amazed because you had Roscoe Parrish, who was like 145 pounds soaking wet, maybe less. Yeah. Okay, but he was just running around the field, just back and forth, and then Andre Johnson be just, you know, just throw it up. Yeah. You know, and I remember watching them play, and you know, not getting the opportunity to play that game. I mean, you look, I'm a competitor by nature.
Yeah.
So I was amazed at watching what he was able to become. You know, both of those guys going to University of Miami, both of those guys having NFL careers, and, you know, to see it from a young age is crazy.
That's funny you bring up Roscoe because, you know, my uncle CJ coached at you, and I would always call my uncle because I went to Georgia, finished high school, and then I walked on at West Georgia. Okay. And I went to JUCO. But I would, you know, call my uncle, and I remember my uncle being on the phone like, yo, I got this little jitterbug. He was like, he's the real deal.
Different dude.
He was different. And the other memory I have about Roscoe, so I would come and train going in my junior year, going in my senior year, I would come and train, and Antro Roll made me tear my ACL.
What hit you with?
No, he's just stronger than me, and it just didn't work out for me.
Okay,
but
y'all in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I would train, do one-on-ones and stuff.
Okay, and that's how you got hurt doing the one-on-ones.
Yeah,
oh man,
he was so strong.
Yeah,
that's why I was messing with when we went to the
shout
gym.
out to Trail. Yeah, a funny dude too, man. Funny dude.
they would do one-on-ones, and there was this big dude, and I was like, why does he keep going with Roscoe? Like, what is he doing?
Who was it?
It was Sean Taylor. Oh. But
real deal.
He started to get better and better and better, and then I was like, oh, this dude is. But this is before everybody knew who they were.
This is before he became Sean Taylor.
Yeah, but he would only go against Roscoe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why is this big dude going against this little dude? You know what I'm saying?
He wanted the best.
He wanted the best.
Bro.
Then it worked out. So, you know, he's big shout out to Roscoe. I gotta give him one.
All of those guys.
So you say you tore your ACL. Yeah. So did you get to play college football or what?
Honestly, man, I had a bunch of offers, Division I AA offers, and you know, I was actually a late qualifier.
Okay.
And you know how it worked back then. Like, you know, if you have somebody going in there taking that test for you, you know how it used to go.
Yeah.
But you know, I decided to, you know, maybe it wasn't for me in terms of pursuing a professional career, college career. So I just said to myself, man, I'm gonna go up here, go to school. Truth be told, that was probably one of the worst decisions I made.
Where'd you go?
Because I ended up going to Tallahassee. Okay, but here's the thing about Tallahassee, if a lot of people don't know. If you go to Tallahassee and you don't have structure, it could be your biggest downfall because there's so much to do. It's just like, we call it the devil's playground. That's what we gave it a name because you got Florida State, you got Florida A&M, you got the community college, and you just got so many people in a small area. Okay, and if you know you go up there with your buddies or whoever, it could be, if you're not focused, it could be a rough transition for you, and you can find yourself either in some trouble or you can find yourself back home.
So you leave high school, you go there.
I go there. Okay, and
how long before the alarm clock goes off?
2 years.
So you made it 2 years.
I made it 2 years, but I had a decision that I had to make. I was given an ultimatum, and I'm glad by my sister.
Okay, right.
Which was the best thing that could have happened to me because it allowed me to refocus. So her ultimatum was, listen, you can come back home and take care of your business and do what you need to do, and you have a car. If you stay up here, I'm taking my car. You have no transportation. So I said, okay, transportation. No transportation.
So what led up to that conversation?
I think it was just because, you know, being enrolled in school, not going to class, not taking it serious, focus on other things. And I think at the end of the day, you know, you have to understand, like, if you don't have a plan, what do you have?
You know who I think of right now when you say that?
Who's that?
Jerry Jacobs.
Shout out to Jerry Jacobs.
Sis don't play.
Listen, she don't play, bro. My sister was the same way. My sister, it was my sister and my mom that kind of raised me, and you know, she had gone to Florida. She went to FAMU. She graduated. She
knew what it was.
She knew what it was. So her thing was like, listen, like, I know you guys are up here doing this thing. Y'all having a good time and you're enjoying yourself. But at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna get left behind in terms of opportunity if you're not focused. So I give her a lot of the credit in terms of giving me that ultimatum.
Yeah.
Because I think it kind of made me the person that I am today.
So you come home. So
I come home, and the first thing I'm thinking is like, I got to get a job because I got no money.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're 20?
I'm 20. I want to say I'm 21. It was the spring of 01, so I had to be 21. Okay. And I came back home. I started working some odd jobs, and then you know, one day my boy, who's now the quarterback coach over at Frank Ponce, I was actually working at LA.
That's your dog?
That's my man. That's my man. Frank Ponce coached me in high school. He was one of my coaches as well. So I was working at LA Fitness, the one that we went and hooped at.
What?
I was working there. And I've always been good with a gift of gab. Like, I can sell stuff. You know what I mean? And, man, he came in to see the facility, to see LA Fitness. And I just happened to be working there.
It was just
random.
Okay.
You know, I hadn't seen him since high school, so it was maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he just came in, man. He was like, man, what the hell are you doing here? I said, man, trying to come get one of these memberships, man. You can help me out. So I ended up selling him like a membership, and he said, hey, I'm down here coaching at Coral Reef. I got the head coaching job. Why don't you come over here and, you know, let's see if I can put you on staff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it gave me an opportunity to get back in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I felt like at that point in time, I needed some type of structure. So I was working at the gym and I was coaching football.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got back in it.